in this session, myself, Daniel, I'm the product director, and we have together with me Laura, the product owner of Dexma Tech. We will talk about the utility of the future, right? So actually, how we believe that digitalization could contribute to customer loyalty, very important these days for commodities, and of course, scaling new value-added services, right? So how you would make more money from your existing base of customers. So we have the same cycle that we explained into the previous session, but nowadays, if we look at from the utility perspective, the trigger is to start with the customer digitalization. So you believe that you have to start offering something else, something digital, a platform to start getting more value from them. Then the first step, detect, it's where you know or you scan your customers' database of, let's say, 1,000 customers, 10,000, 100,000 customers, and you know the system tells you what to sell to which customers, right? So it's like the first scanning to detect which ones you would like to address, which campaigns you would like to do, and so on. The next step would be offering a real-time platform for the data monitoring, right? So customers are nowadays demanding that kind of services from you as a utility, right? So in the same platform, you would have the detect part, and then of course you would have the IoT analytics platform, so they don't have to have two separate logins or other weird things. And then Optimise as well, right? That, as we will see, the value of it is that without having to increase a lot your costs, so you don't have to hire a lot of energy managers, you can provide real-time services to your customers, so they will be taking care from you, okay? And of course, the output of all of that for you and your business is increase your revenues, right? So having new money streams from the different services that you would be offering. So this is the theory, right? This is the theory, but then we have the reality. And we know that in the reality, things may happen that it's not always as easy as it seems, right? But we know it. We know it because we've been working with several utilities already. We know your challenges. We know how you work. We know that you work in complex organizations, many of the times different teams involved, different frequencies, different velocities in the teams, different workflows that you would like to apply. But we've been there. We've been there many times during 2020, and we are ready to try to make your project a success as well, right? So we have prepared this presentation based on challenges, on the top 7 challenges or questions that we have been answering during the last 18 months. And the first challenge will be answered by Laura, right, Laura?
Yeah.
So
ask me a question.
How do I know which customers to sell and what do I have to sell to them, Laura?
Okay, so let's start, I think, with an important challenge for utilities, which is to hit the target with the right customer and within the right service and at the right time. Mm-hmm. So Dexma Tech has been created to answer this question. Let's start with what's the point for you, for the utilities. So Dexma Detect allows to detect on a massive way what is the hidden potential and perform quick energy audits, virtual energy audits, that will allow you to identify where are the customers that have more potentials, so you can perform more upsells with them. Our tool, Dexma Detect, is based on a huge database of Dexma's platform, composed of more than 80,000 buildings. And this huge database nourish the artificial intelligence algorithms that we use to perform the load disaggregation, as we will see afterwards within the demo. Of course, thanks to this scalable process of Dexma Detect, your utilities might be able to sell energy efficiency targeted services, increasing the closing rates and the margins. But of course, we have to think that the epicentric of this tool is the end customer in the end, who wants to save energy and money. And how Dexma Detect might help here. It will do so by identifying potential savings, providing benchmarking against peers, of course, identifying and pinpointing constant energy efficiency services that might help within saving energy. And of course, to achieve this objective in the end, that is to save and to become more efficient as fast as possible.
Exactly, but Laura, rather than just explain what we can do, maybe it's better to show it.
Yeah, I think so. We can show it for real on a demo.
Okay.
So
here we are.
Yeah. Yes, we have this account for demo, for a corporate buildings demo, and we have here a huge portfolio of buildings, more than 100 buildings, with an important consumption, 77 gigabytes. We can see on the map that those buildings are located around the world, in Europe, America, and we, by means of Dexma Detect, we can perform quick filtering. We have on the menu, we can filter by attributes, like if we want to perform specific campaigns based on activities, or we taking into account the sector, the churn risk, several attributes. Then we can filter more focus on energy insights, like the consumption of the buildings, the score, the potential savings. So we can target those specific customers quickly. And then, of course, we can also filter by the recommendations. So we can target for each building which recommendations apply.
So basically, as a utility, if you want to perform a campaign to sell HVAC remote control systems, then you could unselect all of those, just enable that one, and then the system would retrieve you the amount of sites that are suitable to buy this recommendation. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and also you can see on these 3 KPIs relevant information quite quickly. So we see that we have a good score. We are 765 for this portfolio, but there's still place for improvement. Then we have these benchmarking savings that we have 21% of potential compared to similar buildings. And then we have a huge potential of savings if we perform investment on energy efficiency measures, almost more than 3 million euros. So afterwards, we provide with more detailed information for top locations based on benchmarking savings. We aggregate these locations based on the benchmarking. We provide a comparison the consumption versus surface. Then we provide a trend graph based on the energy consumption of the building. But I think the most interesting part is at the bottom, Danny, where we can find the whole portfolio, and we can quickly rank the buildings based on different KPIs, the savings potential, benchmarking, and of course the score. And we can go directly to the building that we want to go. Of course, we can also download the data on a CSV if we want to. And yeah, we can go maybe to one building, retail 9, then it's fine.
Yeah. So now we will see the details of the virtual audit for that retail 9 building. Of course, that number, that name would be the name of your customer, right? So depending on which key you want to use, we can use your own keys to make it more easier for your key account managers, for example, to start prospecting and to sell your energy efficiency recommendations to your customers. Mm-hmm. So I think that it's a building located in Benidorm, right? That one?
Yeah, quite warm there, I think, nowadays. Yes, it's a building in Benidorm, in Alicante. So we have here the details. It belongs it's a store to the retail sector, and we have the surface and the consumption. And we can see quickly that there's a lot of potential here of improvement. We have a low score, and if we perform investments, we will be able to save almost 10,000 euros per year. So there's a lot of potential. We can see also the 1 year data evolution. We see that on summer, because we are on a warm area, we have higher consumptions, and that we are above the average. And then on the right side, we have like I said, the AI algorithms that help us to disaggregate the consumption based on the load with high reliability in this case. And we see that this store has its consumption divided within cooling, lighting, and others, which makes sense for this kind of sector.
So that building, it's consuming 37% on lighting and 26% on cooling. This is like our virtual disaggregation, right?
Mm-hmm.
So now from here, we simulate all the different recommendations, right, Laura?
Yeah, we use this as an input to provide utilities within the best options and the best recommendations. So for this case, the first one is solar panels, which makes sense since we are on an area with a lot of sun. And then we have a whole list of retrofits for this specific case, for HVAC, lighting. Of course, the recommendation, the second one is related with lighting, since we are having a lot of consumption there. So there's still place for improvement.
Yeah. So here we have the list of recommendations sorted by annual savings, right? So the first, so deploying solar panels would be reporting us around 5,000 euros per year in savings for a capex of 30,000. Can we maybe look at the details, Laura?
Yeah, if you click on the retrofit, we will see more details of what we are calculating in Detect. We see that we need for this installation 83 panels and a surface of 164 square meters. And we have more financial details for you, like the savings, the amount of energy sold and self-consumed. So it's not just about simulation, but it's also about being transparent and so the outcomes of the tool. Of course, this is what the utilities see, but of course we can export it to the customer within our report. Yeah, so it's mainly the same information that we have shown, but concentrated for the customer to be easily understood. And here we have the recommendations that we were talking about. So if the customer is interested, can contact the utility to try to buy this energy efficiency service and start saving energy.
So Laura, these three cars are the main call to actions, right? So we can point out here the recommendations to make the conversion and to try to convince the customer to purchase it, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's it.
Okay, good. So I think it's much more explained. So thanks for that. So let's move to the second challenge, right? So how do I send the data to Dexma?
Okay, so in Dexma, we have been working for the last 12 years gathering data from different inputs and alternatives. So we are ready to get your data from our energy data, our context data, like activity, surface, any metadata that you want to send us to the platform, using, for example, data lakes through different push and pull options. We have here some examples. And then from devices, the devices that you might have already installed in your customer buildings, using several protocols that we have been integrated for the last years. And also directly from your CRM. For example, we have performed integrations with some utilities that use Salesforce.
Exactly. So it's very easy to start getting data from your data lakes, your systems to Dexma. And which services as a utility should I offer, Laura?
Okay, so we know in Dexma that each energy service counts. So we have put a lot of effort to have more than 35 pre-configured retrofits ready to be used. Of course, we are quite open to adapt them to your utility needs, and of course, your market know-how, because you know more than us from your customers. So we can perform highly accurate simulations using, of course, your branded messages. We have here some examples of our recommendations catalog. that are already available within the platform and are related with several types of loads like HVAC lighting, etc. Yeah, you were anticipating that this is real and takes a lot of effort. So its line of code matters. we know that very well in Dexma. So we wanted to show you that each simulation has a huge work behind it. Please do not do a screenshot unless you are able to reproduce it. But this is what's behind the tool, just for you to know. But of course, we have to provide our customers, a more visual side of this coding. And as we were saying before on the demo, we provide on each energy service the maximum amount of outputs from an energetical and a financial perspective. It's important to be transparent within the calculations we perform in Detect, and this is why we provide the utilities all the information we can, so you know what we are recommending to your customers. Here are some examples of them.
So basically, as a utility, you will choose which services you want to run Detect with, right? So in your own portfolio of services, you would have some of them that will be matched with our recommendations. Those ones will be enabled, the other one will be disabled. And then, of course, we will work to adjust the recommendations that we have from our library to your own costs. For example, it's not the same deploying an HVAC new system in France or in the United Kingdom than in Italy or Spain. The costs would be different, right? So CAPEX and OPEX and all the other metrics would be adjusted just for you, for your simulations. And of course, then we can build new recommendations as well. So we are continuously growing the offering, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And how do you engage with it, right, Laura? I think that you start to show the report, but that's the key for the upselling, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think this is the most difficult challenge that we have to answer here, and it's how we can keep our users engaged and committed with Dexma Detect. And we think this should be done by means of our report. So this PDF, it's key to share insights within your customers. It's a pre-sales tool that might help you to promote your services and to increase your upsells. Of course, it allows you to establish pre-sales conversations and help you within the promotion of your company. It's also quite visual and easy to understand for every kind of customer with more or less know-how on energy. So I think it will help to reduce the churn and to help you to scale within your customer database. This is the purpose of this report.
Remember that if you have questions, you can use the chat available into this Google Meet call, right? So you can just open there the chat and ask whatever you want to know about our system. So Laura,
yeah.
What is the importance of the cards, of these retrofits? What kind of cards we can offer?
Yeah, I besides the report, I think this card part, it's quite relevant to keep customers engaged and to bring energy efficiency closer to them. So we have realized that we have like 4 kinds of ways to keep them engaged. The first one is these recommendations that we have been talking the whole hour, and it's these real simulations that we perform that could be translated into upsells. We have here some examples related to different kind of loads. For example, solar panels, electrical mobility, related to HVAC, bill reduction, etc. So this might help each month to sell these energy efficiency services. Then we have realized that we have also some information, in-depth information to improve conversion. It's not everything about sales, and sometimes it's also important to provide details to customers so they know what they are buying, because sometimes they know what's the value of installing, for example, an HVAC control system, or what is the reactive power. It helps to improve the conversion. Then we have another services that the utilities might have, not only related within energy services, that could help also to gain engagement. We have here some examples like assistant services, promotion of access on the customer area, and the tech might help here for customers to use them. And finally, we have realized also, based on our experience, that customers want to know how they behave and where they can improve. So these energy insights that Dexma detect might show them also help to keep them engaged and to help utilities to upsell.
Yeah. The good thing from the platform is that we will work together with you to create the workflows for your customers, right? So you would choose each month which recommendation we should offer in based of whatever KPI you want to use. So then you can work together with your marketing team, with your services team, and so on to make these upsells happen.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah. Now it's my turn, Danny. Can you tell me how can my customers access their data within Dexma?
Sure. And the good thing is that as you're using one single platform for the whole values, let's say detect, analyze, and optimize, once you configure the platform for detect, then it's up and running already for analyze, right? So that means that your customers can have a login, a user, a password, and they can access to the platform to see their data in real time. Not just from the utility meter, but as well you can use it as an upsell and offer them sub-metering systems. So selling gateways, selling devices, selling sensors, and so on. And of course, do not forget that it's not just about electricity, but Dexma works in all energy sources. So you can aggregate more and more value into your customer by adding gas, thermal energy, or, for example, the indoor air quality monitoring, right? That it's becoming a huge trend these days. And of course, as Dexma offers, you would have your customers would have by default alerts, reports. We have everything covered, so you can deliver the full experience to your customers for the energy digitalization. Okay. And how do I scale the process massively with low investment? That's really key, right? So how you do the same thing that you're doing for 100 customers, how do you do it for 1,000 customers, for 10,000 customers, for 100,000 customers, without increasing the OPEX at the same rate, right? So that's why, as I explained to you before, Dexma Optimise comes in place. So instead of scaling your process, hiring more and more energy services people behind, you can run it with artificial intelligence and it scales so much better, right? So you will keep your OPEX very low, and at the same time, your customers would feel loved because they will believe that there is someone behind analyzing their data, because as soon as you detect something weird, you will be pushing them an email or a summary or a report automatically. So you scale your energy services, right? Mm-hmm. And the last one is for you, Laura, and this is like the typical question that we always have to answer for utilities, right? So how can I customize it, and what can I customize? Yeah, definitely. We understand that it's key for utilities to care about the brand and how they know better their customers than us, of course. So we are quite happy to help them on their customer journey and to fine tune the Dexma Detect for them. So we start with a personalized process, normally with performing workshops or discovery sessions to know the customers better and in an agile way. So these customization options include a lot of things, but here we have some key points. So we start within an end-to-end co-creation to understand them within these workshops that I was mentioning. We perform branding reports showing relevant KPIs as we showed on the demo, depending on the sector, adapted and customized for your needs. We for specific marketing campaigns we can fine-tune these recommendations that Danny was saying you can send every month. And we adapt to your IT needs
on the way we import your data, the way we export the results of Dexma Detect, and we can bring more metadata to enrich our algorithms and therefore the output of Detect. And of course, you have also the single sign-on on the platform to make your day easier, your day-to-day easier within all the products that we have in Dexma.
And the good thing is that we have experience working with utilities already, right? So it's been a great year for Detect, deploying this service to many utilities in Europe, so top-level, top-tier utilities. And we have learned a lot. So we have automated a lot of processes. We know go faster than ever. The platform is gaining in scalability. So we are ready for your project, for your challenge, right?
Yeah, so that's the summary. We have here all the improvements that we have done the last year that you explained, I think, on the previous session. But specifically for Detect, as we mentioned, we have already been integrated with Salesforce, with some utilities. We are now enriching our algorithms using building energy modeling within this year. We have increased the number of retrofits available on Detect. We have more than 35 now energy recommendations. And we are now able to characterize the heating and cooling building type using Detect. And that's it. So we have a lot of things to keep improving, and and that's it.
That's now it's your time, right? So ask other challenges that it may came to your mind. I have a couple here that we got from previous mails that you sent to me. So the first one, so if you have some questions, please use the chat available into the call. The first question that I got here, it's for you, Laura. So which is the time scale to start working with Dexma in a utility project, more or less?
So it depends, of course. I would say that the part that takes more time is to gather, to put all the data together and to send it to us. That's the most relevant part. But I think it will take like, for the whole part, gather the data and execute the Detect, I will say it around 3 months.
3 months.
But 3 months, but it doesn't matter the number of buildings. So the more buildings we have, the better, of course.
That was another question. Is there a limit of buildings that we can scan, that we can run Detect pipeline on it?
No, at this point we don't have a limit. It's better for us to have more buildings so we can perform better analysis. So the bigger your project is, the better.
Another question that I got is regarding industry, right? So you can run Detect on industrial sites?
Well, it's quite homogeneous, this sector. So we prefer to focus on the more transversal sectors like retail, hotels, because
commercial buildings.
Commercial buildings is much more easier for us to standardize those prospection within Detect.
Okay, there is a bit technical one that I will get, that one, if you don't mind, Laura, that it's regarding the benchmarking. So how do we benchmark the buildings, right? So basically, you have to imagine that we have a database of thousands and thousands of buildings, and we have to choose or to pick the ones that are really similar to you, because we want to compare apples with apples. That's obvious, right? So how we do that? We use what we say clustering algorithms, okay? That basically we normalize first by heating and cooling degree days, and we have a matrix of how good how good you correlate with that. Then from that matrix, we pick a certain position of buildings, and then from there we have a cluster, and we select the 100 buildings that are similar, right, in terms of the pattern, in terms of the location, pattern, heating and cooling degree days, relevant, and surface as well, and as well the activity, right? So we make the cluster of 100 buildings, and then we compare you versus that 100 buildings. We sort them up, and we provide you with a score, and as well with an energy potential savings. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, well, I don't know if you have any doubts, the ones that you are connected in today's call. I just finished the 4 questions that I had outside the call. At any point, you have here our emails. So dugis@dexma.com, lmartinez@dexma.com are our emails. We are more than happy to talk with you. So if you want to explain your project, what do you have in mind, how Dexma could help us, that would be beautiful. And I don't know, Laura, if you want to add something.
No, that's it from my side. Thank you, everyone, for joining today. And let's see next year. See you next year. Keep in touch.
Hopefully, we will have this event in present. So maybe in a beautiful spot in Barcelona. Who knows? With the sunny weather that we have here. So we just pray for that.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, see you next time. It's been a great pleasure to be here today in the Dexma Day. Thanks for joining. Thanks for listening to us. And as I said, if you have anything else, you have our contacts here. See you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Take care.